Hi, I'm Lauren Trees from APQC, and today I'm introducing a mini presentation by one of our 2021 Excellence in Knowledge Management recipients, Mercer. And this was part of a recent KM show and tell that we did. And one of the most impressive things about Mercer's KM team is how fast they adapt and align to the business in every situation. So, this is Lisa Weber from Mercer talking about how her KM team supports the current organizational strategy.
Thanks, Lauren. It's a little bit of background about Mercer. One of our big priorities at the moment is to make sure we're aligned with business strategy. And the first slide I have, I'll just give a little, we are a global KM team. We have 30 teammates spread around the world. We support the business units, so the consulting teams that advise clients. Mercer is in the thick of a 5-year business strategy, and we have a very crisp plan from our CEO, and it's upheld by the executive leadership team, and it trickles and cascades down to all of us in the organization. So it's a very crisp strategy, and what makes it nice is our KM team can easily align to it. And so within the strategy, there are 3 main enablers: culture, transformation, and digitalization. And I don't know if any other KM leaders out there can identify. Those are 3 underpinning components of KM as well. So when we talk about it across the firm, what the business strategy is and what the enablement features are, very easy to align KM. Coming out of those enablers, there are 8 building blocks that we have as the priority as a firm. Those are strategic programs ranging from DE&I to looking at our portfolio of what we consult on, as well as a sales framework. So that's a little bit of background of how our KM team supports the business strategies. It's really easy to latch onto it. When I think about, and on the next slide, Lauren, if I think about what has worked for KM the last few years, 7 things come to mind. Let me talk very briefly about the 7, and then I'm going to hone in on one. First and foremost, we've had really active sponsorship, and some of our leaders have been change agents, and that's just been immensely helpful. So we have the right sponsor leadership supporting us, blazing a trail, helping us forge new inroads. The second component is on analytics and insights. And so there's two prongs to this. One is hard data, the quantitative. So we have some very slick dashboards that we use. And then the second prong is colleague feedback, and that's more the qualitative. I'm going to come back to this in a minute. The third component that's worked really well, and we're still sharpening and honing, is our content creation and doing health checks. And so we have experts that we work with, subject matter experts, thought leaders, intellectual capital leaders. And so our KM team is matched to those leaders. We curate the content with them. We make decisions. We're always making sure things are fresh and current and accurate. The fourth thing is digital transformation. So as we go through a digital roadmap, changes, platforms, that's one side of the story. It's about the technology. It's really about the content. Can you find the content when you need it, where you need it, quickly and easily? So that's a big part of our roadmap. The next thing is standard operating procedures. Not sexy, not fun, but definitely needed by our KM team. So regardless if we're working across the enterprise or within business units, industry verticals, segment teams, the pockets, we're all doing the same thing the same way, and it's all about efficiency. So we've spent a lot of time doing documentation. And last but not least, we've resurrected our Knowledge Champions Network. So we had it a few years ago, it went dormant, and we've picked it back up this year. And that's sort of your grassroots, your advocates, who are your cheerleaders, who will help you spread the word organically. And it's a give and take. We push information out to the champions, and they feed information back to us. Let me just jump back up to the qualitative and quantitative, because I'd say if there's one thing that has accelerated us, it's been this. So we have very slick dashboards. We're built in Power BI. We've got data. We've got metrics. That's great. That's foundational. What we've been able to do is click it up a notch. And so what does that data tell us? Where are the insights, which then leads to business decisions? So we've been using that more and more as a tool with the leaders to make decisions on content development, what's the correlation to revenue, what is selling with clients, what is the market talking about. So we have some pretty sophisticated activities there. And then on the qualitative part, we've spent a lot of time listening to the voice of the colleague. What is it you need? What is it you want? What is it you're looking for? And let's make sure we're doing it right. So it's a continuous loop. We use that data, we formulate that data into a database. So when you marry the quantitative and the qualitative, you get a whole story of what people need and what they're